Okay, so are you ready for this? Today, we're diving headfirst into a mystery that's fascinated people for decades, maybe even centuries. UAPs.
UAPs, huh? You mean like UFOs?
Exactly. UFOs. But we're not talking about some blurry photos or shaky videos taken from who knows where. We're going straight to the source. That 2021 report from the U.S. intelligence community, the one that really tried to get to the bottom of this whole
Oh,
thing,
yeah, I remember that one. Wasn't that the one with all the pilot reports?
that's the one. They analyzed a whopping 144 UAP observations, and all of them were made by military pilots and personnel.
Military pilots, that's the key thing there. We're not talking about casual skywatchers. These are trained observers. These are people whose job it is to know exactly what's up in the air, and even they were seeing things they couldn't explain.
It really makes you wonder what was going through their heads when they saw these things. Okay, so 144 sightings, right? You'd think they'd at least have some answers. What did they actually figure out? How many of those sightings did they manage to explain?
Well, get this. Out of 144 sightings, they could only definitively identify one.
Just one out of 144.
Or one. And you want to know what it was?
I think I'm almost afraid to ask, but yeah, what was it?
A large deflating balloon.
A balloon, seriously. All that for a balloon.
It sounds funny, but it actually proves an important point. A lot of that people see in the sky, even experienced observers, can be explained by totally ordinary things. But that still leaves 143 unexplained sightings.
Okay, so what about those other sightings? What made them so strange?
Well, 18 of them, 18 out of those 143, showed what the report called unusual flight characteristics. That's government speak for things that just shouldn't be possible. We're talking about movements and capabilities that seem to defy the laws of physics as we know them.
Hold on, defy the laws of physics. That's a pretty bold statement. What kind of unusual flight characteristics are we talking about? Give me an example.
Picture this. You've got a UAP just hovering in the air, completely still. No problem, right? Except this is happening in the middle of strong winds that would toss a normal aircraft around like a paper airplane.
Okay, that's pretty weird. What else?
Or how about this? Imagine an object that can change direction instantly, like it's teleporting, zipping around at speeds that would turn a human pilot into jelly.
It's like something out of a sci-fi movie.
Oh.
But this is a real government report we're talking about. So we've got these objects pulling off maneuvers that would make even Maverick jealous. What did the report say could be behind these UAPs?
Well, they broke it down into 5 categories, starting with the most likely explanations, and actually some of them are pretty straightforward.
Okay, so what were they? Hit me with those explanations.
The first one they call airborne clutter. Basically, it's just stuff that's up in the air that could be mistaken for something else, birds, balloons, drones, even those plastic bags that float around in the wind.
Okay, sure, makes sense. Sometimes a cigar, just a cigar, right? Hey. What about the other categories?
The next one is natural atmospheric phenomena. Think weird weather patterns like those strange lenticular clouds that look like flying saucers, or ice crystals that can mess with radar and create false readings.
So natural explanations, but things that could easily be mistaken for something more unusual if you weren't expecting them.
Right. Now, the next category is where things start to get a little more interesting. Secret U.S. technology.
Wait, you're saying some of these UAPs could be our own doing?
It's not as far-fetched as it sounds. The U.S. military has a long history of developing cutting-edge technology, stuff that's kept under wraps, top-secret black budget stuff. It wouldn't be totally shocking if they had some experimental aircraft or drones that even experienced pilots wouldn't recognize.
So we might be freaking ourselves out with our own secret tech.
Possibly. It's happened before. Remember, the stealth bomber was a secret for years before it was revealed to the public, and people were seeing all sorts of strange things in the skies where it was being tested.
True, I remember all those stories about the Black Triangle UFO sightings back in the day. Okay, so that's secret U.S. tech, but what if it's not us?
That brings us to category 4, foreign adversary technology. This is where things get a little more, shall we say, concerning.
I bet. You mean like some other country has technology that's way more advanced than we thought possible?
Exactly. Imagine if a rival nation or even a non-state actor managed to develop technology that could outperform anything in our current arsenal. That's a significant national security risk.
Okay, that one's a bit unsettling. So we've got everyday stuff in the air, natural phenomena, secret U.S. tech, and potentially even technology from another country. That's 4 categories. What's the 5th?
The 5th category, the one that really gets people talking, is what the report calls other.
Other. That's it. That's like saying we have no idea.
Basically, yeah. Other is the catch-all term for anything they couldn't fit into the other categories. It's the great unknown, and the report doesn't even try to speculate on what it might include. It simply acknowledges that there are things out there that we just don't understand.
So they're not saying it's aliens,
Not saying that.
but they're not saying it's aliens.
You got it.
I imagine a report like that, coming from the U.S. intelligence community, caused quite a stir.
Oh, you have no idea. It wasn't just people talking about it on the internet. This report sent shockwaves through the government, the scientific community, everywhere.
So the government drops this bombshell report, says they don't know what some of these UAPs are, but they're definitely not ruling out anything too crazy. What happened next? Did people just brush it off, or did it really change how seriously we take this whole UAP thing?
Well, it definitely got people's attention, that's for sure. That other category, the one they couldn't explain, really stuck with people.
It's one thing to say, we don't know what this is, but that a whole other thing to imply that it could be something completely beyond our understanding.
And that's exactly what made this report so significant. By admitting they couldn't explain some of these sightings with conventional explanations, the government basically opened the door to the possibility of advanced technologies beyond anything we thought possible.
So no more laughing off UFO sightings as weather balloons or swamp gas.
Pretty much. And that shift in tone, that newfound seriousness, has had a real impact.
In what way? How have things changed since the report?
Well, for one thing, there's been a big push for more research. We're talking about increased funding for UAP studies, more scientists getting involved, and even new government offices dedicated specifically to investigating these phenomena.
Wow, it sounds like we've entered a new era of UAP research, one where it's not just fringe science anymore.
Definitely. And the best part is, we're seeing more open dialogue and collaboration. Scientists and government agencies are actually talking to each other, sharing information, and trying to figure this out together.
That's a huge change. It sounds like we're finally starting to take this seriously.
And that's a good thing because regardless of what these UAPs turn out to be, the search for answers could lead to some incredible breakthroughs. Who knows what we might discover about our world, about physics, even about ourselves in the process.
You know, it really makes you think. We've spent centuries looking up at the stars, wondering what might be out there. And all this time, there might have been something incredible right here above us, just waiting to be discovered. Thanks for joining us today for this fascinating deep dive into the world of UAPs. It's a world full of mystery and intrigue, and one that's sure to keep us guessing for years to come. Until next time, keep looking up.